My entire life has been connected to the sea in many different ways. In the last 7 years, I applied all the knowledge I had of the sea into photography. Capturing the various moves of the sea through my lens has become one of my passions. And today, I'm going to share with you all my tips, techniques and tricks to get the best results in your seascape photos. Stick around until the end, because I will show you how to find amazing photo spots no one knows about. Now, let's begin!
Hello everyone! What a beautiful day to take some dramatic pictures! This is the second part of the video, so if you didn't watch the first one, don't worry, you can watch it later. So the tip of today for seascapes is also related to the composition, and you can use it always when you use a wide-angle lens. Look for an interesting foreground. Placing a great foreground, you will add also a sense of depth to the picture, and you will lead the viewer through all the frame in a very peaceful way. Look for natural elements like rocks, cliffs or edges to use as a nice foreground. Also, don't forget to try different angles to find the best composition, and remember the rule of thirds to keep the photo well balanced. On the other hand, if you wanna have the best compositions, don't be afraid of getting wet. Remove all the things from your pocket, take only the essentials and go for it. And when you are ready with your composition, just wait for the waves to crash on your foreground and push the trigger. And now imagine that you're in a place like this and you are not able to find a nice foreground because it's too late and the light is gonna change very soon, or that day you are not inspired, or for whatever reason, it doesn't matter. Now follow me because I have the solution for you. Well, I'm not a big fan of this kind of photos, but what's more interesting than you? Yes, if you don't find a nice foreground, you can add yourself to the photo. And it's quite simple to do it. First, when you're looking for a composition, leave a bit of space for you in the lower part of the frame. Then, leave the camera on the tripod and go where you are supposed to be on the photo and make a mark. And finally, go back to your camera, push the 10-second timer and run to your photo position. Alright, when you're on a completely empty beach like this one, with just sun and water, a good technique to try could be ICM. For the viewers that don't know what means ICM, ICM is the abbreviation of intentional camera movement, and it's quite simple to do it. You only have to increase the shutter speed, and when you're taking pictures, move the camera. Depending on the camera movement and shutter speed, you will have different results. If you want to try ICM for the first time and you don't know where to start, I would recommend a shutter speed at 1/10 of a second and try different movements until you like the results. Later on, you can try different settings. Also, to make the photo more interesting, I would add some layers, like the sun, the water and the sky. I forgot to mention that the best way to try ICM is to start moving the camera, and when you're moving the camera, push the trigger. If you want to see more examples of ICM on the forest, you can watch one of my shorts here.
Well, when I was doing some research for my video, I found out that a lot of videos and blogs recommend ND filters for seascapes. The ND filters helps you to remove the light from the camera in a very easy way, to get long exposures during the day, and have this mesmerizing silk effect on the water. But, on the other hand, the high quality ND filters are quite expensive, and the cheap ones are not worth it. Nowadays, you can replicate this silk effect on the water in Photoshop without making long exposures, and looks quite similar. So, in my opinion, unless your main photos are not long exposures, I wouldn't buy any filters. So, I'm gonna leave you in the description of this video a link that explains how to make this effect on Photoshop. Can tell you that I already tried and it works very well.
Alright, if you're already tired of photographing these stunning landscapes, you can always try it. Abstract photography. Well, if you want to try this kind of photography in seascapes, you could start looking for patterns, lines, or something that catch your eye on the foreground. Also, I would recommend to use the sunlight to add some contrast to the picture, and if you want to add some context from seascapes, you could add also the movement of the waves. If you are struggling with the composition, use the crop 1 by 1. The symmetry of the square format can help you to find a balanced compositions. For example, here what caught my attention was the interaction between the whole full of water and the seaweed. I put them in the opposite corners of the photo to have a well-balanced composition. And pretty much that's it. f11 because it's the sharpest point of the lens. We focus on the hole, and the shutter speed I don't really care because I didn't add some movement of the water. Well, if you're asking yourself, how can I find these stunning landscapes? It's quite simple. The idea would be to go to scouts during the day, but let's face it, it would be crazy to go out for looking for new locations when outside there are 40 degrees Celsius. So, what to do in this situation? It's quite simple, use Google Maps. Using Google Maps, you cannot imagine how many nice spots you can find out that they are unknown for photographers. Like for example this one, or the ones that I found out in the German Alps. And that's it for today's video, so thank you so much for watching it, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Agur eta horrengo arte!